years and years of research on historical swordsmanship, I found references to a place in London called the Bartitsu Club, which is where historical swordplay was being taught. So I went in search of the Bartitsu Club, and lo and behold, I found that Bartitsu was a real and genuine thing. I did find a number of other researchers around the world and started to revive this rather eclectic and long-forgotten self-defense system of the 1890s. It is largely forgotten by the time of the First World War, and then goes into complete obscurity except for that small reference in the Arthur Conan Doyle novel of Sherlock Holmes in The Adventure of the Empty House, where he uses the word Bartitsu. In the late 1880s, Conan Doyle is really getting very, very tired of writing about Sherlock Holmes. He decides to kill him off in The Adventure of the Final Problem, where Holmes famously encounters Moriarty on the Reichenbach Falls. They wrestle and they go over to their death. Done, Holmes is gone, Conan Doyle's happy. Except there's this public clamor, bring him back from the dead, we want more. Eventually, he writes The Adventure of the Empty House, wherein Holmes returns from the dead, and he survived the encounter because of his knowledge of what Conan Doyle referred to as Bartitsu. He was actually referring to Bartitsu, about which Conan Doyle seemed to have known absolutely nothing. It was more of a, shall we say, a philosophy of combat, a principle of how to defend yourself in every situation, regardless of what's to hand. Obviously, you had your fists, you had your feet in a form of French savate, foot fighting style. You had traditional European wrestling systems, but added to that, you had since it was a system for gentlemen, we would have the standard accessories that a gentleman would carry: a walking stick, cane, umbrella. For ladies, a parasol, fan. You could also add defense with top hat, opera cape, snuff box, handkerchief. It was taught and designed for gentlemen, and with the idea being that a gentleman is almost by definition a non-athlete. Therefore, it is assumed that the thug, the attacker, is going to be physically superior. Therefore, you don't try to outfight the attacker, you outthink the attacker. And that appeals to a lot of us today who spend far too much time sitting at a desk and not enough time working in the fields. With the emergence of the internet, there has been a worldwide revival in historical combat in general, and now people say, I want to know how to do that.
This was something completely new for me. Learning how to defend ourselves in several different situations using any manner of whatever we have on hand, whether it's fisticuffs, or if you've got an umbrella, or a parasol, or a handkerchief, or a pair of gloves, or a sassy hat.
It's defense with anything. It's not prepared fighting, it's not staged fighting. You're in a situation you were not expecting a fight, and you know how to defend yourself, you know how to get away.
It's not a memorized series of techniques. It's the mental process, the understanding of the way human beings physically work.
I enjoy the Bartitsu material. Yes, it's an antiquated self-defense form, and we're interested in it for its historical value, but I think I end up doing so much of this because there are so few of us who do.
Is this a good weapon? It is if it's in my hand at the time I'm attacked.